Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chesterton's Jest, where we keep a critical eye on faith and culture, especially within the Catholic Church today. In an age where even church teachings seem to be shifting, we're here to explore and question the ideas and changes that challenge timeless truths. Through thought-provoking, often humorous perspectives, we aim to bring clarity to conversations others might avoid, holding fast to orthodoxy with the courage to question what feels off track. If you would like to join us as we dig deeper into the faith with reverence, wit, and a touch of Chestertonian insight, you can support this channel by gently pressing the like, share, and subscribe buttons in that order, and we thank you for your support. And now, without further ado, why the Founding Fathers distrusted democracy. Chapter 1. The Myth of the Democratic Fathers. We begin with a myth, as all proper tales should. The modern world loves to think of the Founding Fathers as evangelists of democracy, marching in powdered wigs with declarations in one hand and ballots in the other. As if Thomas Jefferson invented the selfie and Benjamin Franklin went viral for a hot take on civic virtue. But the truth is something far more interesting. The founders were not starry-eyed Democrats. They were architects of a machine designed, above all things, to protect liberty from democracy. They had read history, and more importantly, they had read Plato. They understood that democracy, when unrestrained, could become what Plato called the prelude to tyranny, a beautiful anarchy that ends in chains. Chapter 2. The mob is not sacred. To distrust democracy is not to despise the people. Quite the opposite. It is to recognize them for what they are: fallible, passionate, impulsive, human. One man with a conscience may be heroic. A crowd with pitchforks may not be. The founders understood that a mob does not become wise merely by growing louder. In fact, it often grows stupider. They knew the difference between a republic of citizens and a riot of appetites. And so they constructed a government to withstand not just kings, but crowds. The tyranny of the majority, they feared, was no better than the tyranny of the monarch. In some ways, it was worse, for it came with cheering. Chapter 3. The Constitution is a brake, not a gas pedal. Picture, if you will, a great and clanking machine, levers, valves, chambers, and all manner of slow-turning wheels. That, dear listener, is the U.S. Constitution. It was not built to speed up the will of the people, but to slow it down. It was designed with distrust at every joint, checks and balances, vetoes and filibusters, elections spaced years apart, and a Senate raised high above the roiling tide of popular feeling. This is not the architecture of enthusiasm. It is the engineering of suspicion. The founders assumed that everyone in power would try to do something foolish, or worse, something popular, and they built a system to make that difficult. Chapter 4. Liberty, not license. There is a modern confusion between liberty and license. Liberty is the freedom to do what is right. License is the freedom to do what is wanted. The founders, being men of restraint and reflection, knew the difference. They did not believe freedom meant breaking all boundaries. They believed it meant placing boundaries around power so that the soul of the nation could remain intact even when the winds of opinion blew cold and wild. Freedom, they believed, was best preserved not by passion but by principle. That is why they built a republic, a structure that could endure storms because it was not made of sentiment but of law. Chapter 5. The Genius of Distrust. Distrust is an unpopular virtue, yet in politics it is perhaps the most necessary one. The founders distrusted democracy not because they thought poorly of man, but because they thought realistically of him. They knew that man is a creature of habit and hunger, of love and rage. And so they did not trust any single man or any single crowd with too much power. They chained power to parchment and spread it across branches, precisely because they believed that man, left unchecked, will eventually check others. Their genius lay in this holy skepticism. They distrusted everyone equally, and in doing so, created a system that could survive the worst impulses of anyone. Chapter 6. A Republic, if you can keep it. When Franklin emerged from the Constitutional Convention, a woman reportedly asked him, "Doctor, what have we got, a monarchy or a republic?" To which he replied, "A republic, if you can keep it." He did not say a democracy, he said a republic. The difference is not merely academic. A democracy is a fire, a republic is a hearth. The hearth needs tending, slow care, steady hands and boundaries to keep the flames from consuming the house. The founders gave us such a hearth. Whether we keep it or let it burn in the name of convenience, passion or populism is the question of every age. Chapter 7. In praise of careful clocks. Let the final image be this. The founding fathers were not poets of liberty, but watchmakers of it. They built a clock, not a crusade, and like all good clocks, it was meant to tick slowly, regularly, and wisely, no matter how loudly the crowd outside shouted that it was already late. In distrusting democracy, they preserved the very liberty that democracy so often endangers. They did not reject the people, they simply knew them too well to hand them the keys without a lock. That, dear listener, is not cynicism. That is civilization. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video and share our passion for defending the true faith with a touch of humor, be sure to head over to chestertonsjest.com and check out our collection of gourmet, flavored coffees that smell like sanity, hand-poured candles with scents like sacred space, and graphic tees and hoodies bold enough to make a modernist flinch. Every purchase directly supports the research, production, and fearless commentary you see here at Chesterton's Jest. So if you believe in what we're doing, don't just watch. Stand with us, light a candle, sip the roast, wear the fight, and of course, smash that like button. Share this video with your fellow troublemakers and subscribe so you never miss an episode. As Chesterton once said, "A madman is not someone who has lost his reason. A madman is someone who has lost everything except his reason." So, let's keep our reason and our faith intact together. Thanks for listening. God bless you and may the good Lord be praised.